Right, hello, and today we're going to be basically looking at what goes into the refurbishment of the controller that you receive with the console that you get from me on eBay. And just like the unit, just like the console itself, it is completely stripped down now. I must say, a controller has a lot of bits to it, and yeah. So basically, obviously, this is the finished product here. Obviously that's a dusty one that we're going to be refurbishing as well. So what's happened at this stage is that we've wiped the motherboard down and brushed it with alcohol on both sides. We've stripped the whole unit down. We don't take these off, but we do clean them with air and IPA, 99.9% alcohol, because if you take these off, they're a real nightmare to get off, but you can clean them just as well by leaving them on. This is all, the whole shells and all of this that you see here, apart from the battery and the screws, these have all been washed in soap and water, because you do get hair and all sorts creeping in to the controller, and it's the oils, the hair, the dust causes gunk, and yeah. Now this one wasn't too bad, but it was still enough. You know, you're playing it, you can feel that, you know, it's not 100%. So, so now what we're going to be doing is basically just putting it back together. It has been cleaned in soap and water. It's been towel dried. What I like to do, obviously, to make sure it's completely clean, is I set my hot air to 100 degrees, which these can easily take. And I just give it a once over. All the bits we're going to be putting in straight into here. Now I've used a toothbrush to get into all the nooks and crannies with soap and water. But we don't just leave it there. We basically, once we've got that dry, we're going to make absolutely sure that the insides, where these buttons and directional pad drop in, are completely clean. So this is soaked in alcohol. I'm just going to give that a rub around, just to make sure. If I see any moisture, I'll use the other side of the cotton wool bud. I'm going to get into the nooks and crannies as well. Okay. So now we have everything we need to start placing everything back. So a new cotton wool bud. And yeah, even though this has been washed in soap and water, I want to make absolutely sure, because not everything can come off with soap and water. So I'm just going to be 100% sure each button is completely clean. Squeaky clean, as you can hear. And then just placed in the top, like so. it is amazing because we're handling these. You know, it can just get so much use and so much gunk in there. Just remember I should use a bit of hot air on it as well. Just going to do that on this one as well, just to make sure it's absolutely dry. Just dropping it in the right one. There we go. Don't lose them. don't let this ping out your hand. And making just absolutely sure all moisture is gone. Okay. We have the tiniest. Don't forget, it's all been cleaned with soap and water. We're just making sure, because the alcohol will get rid of certain sticky oils that soap and water necessarily won't get completely rid of. So we're just making sure. just going to be putting these on there. Again, there's some tiny little holes here, so just going to make sure. So just some alcohol on it. We can be completely thorough. That's my tummy saying it's breakfast time. I think that was the moisture just from the can. Okay. Just going to take it out just to be sure. So these gears, I did it off camera actually. These have got a little bit of lubricant in here as well, and they've been cleaned with alcohol also. So yeah, this has been cleaned with alcohol and lubricated with a small amount of WD-40 on a Q-tip. So I see people just spraying it in. That's not a good idea. Okay. So all of this as well has been wiped down with IPA, and the underside as well. I don't take it off, and you can get to the underside without having to do that. And this has all been air dusted as well. You have to be gentle here, we don't want these coming off. We do want to give them a little bit of a clean. Right. So at this stage, we just want to pop this in. Make sure it's all been pushed down correctly. Okay, not sure if that's 100% correct. Does seem to be. It's just, yeah, okay. So we do have a screw here. We're just going to secure this. Right, so we do have these to be put back in as well. And yeah, we're just going to give them a little, you've guessed it, a little clean with IPA. If you miss one little thing, just one tiny thing on these, leave a little bit of grime, you'll push that button and you'll think, it's the same. As you can see, I'm doing it in my hand, so it's not very hot, as long as I keep moving it around, get even heat. A little bit more moisture coming out there. I'm just going to take this out a minute because I'm not sure. I have noticed yeah, I think that's how it goes. That's fine. Just checking the buttons on the back. Making sure everything's absolutely straight because there we go. Yeah, if something's not right, this thing has a way of telling you. It's like that. Okay. So that should just push into place. I don't think that's straight. Maybe it is. Okay, we'll soon find out. You know, when you're doing something, you think there's got to be a better way. Probably is. do need a firm handle on it to get this in. Finally gets it in. Okay. Okay, so that's come off. So when this happens, you have to make sure the spring and of course now we've got the battery in, so we've got that to deal with as well. So not as bad as the first revision ones, because if this happens you've got a metal pin which just slides between. Okay, yeah. Okay, so that is now in. Get a bit of ply. It's not closing here. Okay, so at least you're seeing it in real time. These are some of the issues. Right, so this, yeah. Okay, so this has happened before to me. Okay. Wow. You do not want this happening to you. Without a doubt. So we've been going for 25 minutes. We may actually get to the point where I'm going to have to take the thing out again. So I'm just going to pause it a moment. Right, so I had to pause the video because I had to take this back out. Okay, so yeah, I had to feed that back through. That's not easy. Wish I did it on camera now, but it was more just feeding it through and just doing it very gently. Placing this back on top. Right, okay. So there is this tiny little rubber stopper which holds it in place in the middle. Yeah, if you pull this, it can dislodge it from the main board here. So don't want to be doing that. Yeah, I don't think I'm the only one that has issues with trying to get these back together. Let's put this in. I mean, it's fair to say, and I'm going to be honest because I don't think any tutorial is going to tell you this. See what I've just done? You are going to have issues if you take your controller apart for the first time, if you've never done it before. And if you haven't got patience, then don't do it, because you're going to need patience. Because little things can happen, little tiny things can flick out, and yeah. Okay. So let's try this again. Screw has to go in here, and yeah, I mean, you may have to take it apart 2, 3, even 4 times. And yeah, I'll be honest, when I first started to do it, I ruined some controllers. It was because I didn't have the patience. I soon realised that as long as you didn't force anything, just go back, do it again, try it again. If it doesn't work, do it again. You know, it is a bit tedious, but it is the only way. But your reward is a nicely refurbished controller. And that really does add to the experience of playing. That's why I do these now. I didn't do them before. But the reason I do them is because it just adds so much more enjoyment to the playing of your machine. Okay. That's not right. It closed, nearly, but the reason it hasn't fully closed is that it's telling me there's a problem. Okay, so all it was there was this tiny bit of rubber, just needed to be feeded through. You're going to need tweezers. no doubt about it. Ones that really grip hard, so you can pull things through, and ones with tiny little points, so you can push them through. All right, but we'll have a check of these. Yeah, they're all good now. Right, so yeah, it is just a case of putting the screws back in. But yeah, if this thing doesn't want to shut, don't force it. It's telling you there's a problem. Look for where it doesn't shut. On this occasion, it was on this side, and the reason was that little bit of rubber just needed to be feeded through. Otherwise, this wasn't going to make contact. So I did a first generation one of these, and there are these. I'll show you. So here and here come out. They're like little bridges that pop out, and getting those back in. So watch this guy on YouTube, and he did it all sped up, and it was like, okay. It took on the sped up 15 minutes for him to do it. So in real time, that's like an hour of just opening, closing, trying again. And in the end, I think he was he got it together. He was distraught though. I think it traumatized him. So yeah, so what we have now, just going to check the buttons. So this controller will be going with this console here, which is on eBay at the moment. Really nice. I've done thorough tests on it, and yeah, with fan speed set to 32%, and your console on system control fan, Syscon fan, will get to 28% within about half an hour. So you're just going 4% more. Let me also point out that your temperatures on 28% will be in the 70s. So we put this to 32%, and yeah, right. So does it work? Because we get a lot of these videos, I've noticed, and you don't actually see the controller working. So here's what I've just refurbished. It's looking lovely and clean. Alright, so the start and select buttons at the same time should bring up the temperatures. It does. So you've got them just here. Right, so some people said, could you paint your controller white? You could, but I think you devalue it, because to actually paint it and then not get these in, I would literally need a transfer that fits exactly into here, because you can't do it with tape. It's not clean. You can do it, but it doesn't look, I just wouldn't do it to my standards. It doesn't look clean, which means I have to paint the whole thing. You lose the Sony emblem, you lose DualShock 3, 6-axis, you lose it all. It'll just be white. But you know, if people want it, it would devalue the controller in the future. So that's why I'm reluctant to do it. But it would match the console really nicely. Just to show you that this is a custom painted white console, backwards compatible. and it's had the same refurbishment as this, except it's had new pads and everything else put into it, with pressure mod being applied, which you can find the benefits of a pressure mod on the CPU on PSX Place. Let's go for Tekken. Actually, I was going to put God of War on, but to really get these bumper buttons checked. Okay.
The King of Iron Fist's martial law. Get ready for the next battle. Round 1. Fight.
Ooh, that was not very good.
You lose. Round 2. Fight.
Yep, that seems to be running fine, except my gameplay is terrible. I have to reset the controller every time, but it's a good test for this. Let's just skip this. Let's pause this one, that's the main game. Alright, we're into the gameplay, so I'm going to check in all the buttons. Let's try these trigger buttons. Oh yeah. controller. Working like a dream.
Something has me. I cannot move, Kratos. Free me!
Alright. Yep, trigger buttons are working fine. All the other buttons, of course. Press right one here. Yeah, all good. Right, well, there you go. So I'm happy to say that that is all done. So there it is. So fully refurbished controller with customised, backwards compatible PS3, fully refurbished, new pads, new paste, RSX D-lid, pressure mod and CPU, the whole lot. Tokens have got their own pads as well. Running as cool as a cucumber. With a controller which has been completely stripped down, washed in soap and water, wiped down with isopropyl alcohol, and yeah, these are going to be worth a lot of money in the years to come, as well as the consoles themselves, especially in white, because that's unique. Right, hope you enjoyed the video, and any questions, just send me a message. Cheers, bye.